Greetings and blessings to all human beings all around the world. Today happened to be Friday, June the 26th, 2020. It's about 9:28 p.m. 2020, time to vision, time to change, time to wake up. It's about 8 days before the 4th of July. And I encourage black people, let's not have a tradition like the system wants us to. Multiple killings. Father's Day weekend in Chicago, Illinois, 104 people shot, 14 murdered. Let's not keep this tradition up. Let's stop it. Let's stop this black on black crime. Let's stop this black on black violence. During this 4th of July, I know a lot of you all celebrate it. I don't celebrate it because I know what happened back in 1776, July the 4th. It has nothing to do with black people, no more than we being slaves. Some people ain't gonna like this here, but I don't care who don't like it. I want to educate my black people because I'm black. And what I'm trying to show y'all now, why we killing each other, I want y'all to listen to this recent story here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Just 2 days ago when a black chief took over, the first black chief in Wilmington, North Carolina. Look what his first thing that he did. He fired 3 white police. And listen why. Charleston, Missouri, you need to wake up. This chief of police that you have now here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, and this sheriff that you have here now in Mississippi County, when you see what you see on here, you can bet that they covering it up. Look at the black on black crimes, murders, and everything else that's not being solved in the black communities here in Charleston, Missouri. I'm not saying all of them are racist, but what you hear on this, you can believe some of them is doing this here in Charleston, Missouri. Stop this black on black violence and listen to this here.
Wilmington, North Carolina's police chief has fired 3 veteran officers for what he calls hate-filled speech, caught on a patrol car camera. Internal investigation accused officers Kevin Piner and Brian Gilmore and Corporal Jesse Moore of violating standards of conduct and using inappropriate slurs, including the N-word. Investigators say that Piner described killing black people in a new civil war, saying, quote, wipe them off the bleep map. David Bagnell spoke to the chief about this, and David, he's taking this beyond his department. He's sending quite a message.
He sure is, Gail. Good morning. Donnie Williams is the first black police chief for the Wilmington, North Carolina Police Department. And this week was his first day on the job. And do you know what the first thing was that he did on his first day? He fired these officers. Chief, one of the officers wanted to resign, but you said, no, I'm going to fire you. Why?
Because people are tired of officers being involved in misconduct and walking away quietly. I wanted to fire them to make sure that their chances of being rehired again were minimized. These individuals do not deserve to be in law enforcement.
Documents released by the Wilmington Police Department state that the conversations were discovered during a routine video audit of Officer Piner's patrol car. He is heard telling Corporal Moore that he is, quote, ready for a civil war and planned to buy an assault rifle to, quote, start slaughtering them in words. During a phone call, Moore refers to a woman who he claims was resisting arrest as the N-word multiple times, and he says she needed a bullet in her head right then. Did these officers try to fight you on releasing their files?
They did.
Do you have any indication that anyone at any point tried to put this to the side so it wouldn't embarrass your agency?
No, they brought it to my attention immediately once they found it.
According to the investigators, each officer admitted it was their voice on the video, but blamed their comments on the stress of the job, arising from the stress of today's climate in law enforcement. CBS News reached out to the police union and the 3 officers for comment, but never heard back. It's one thing to fire the officers, but you want more than that. You want to foreseeably prevent them from working in law enforcement again in the state of North Carolina, correct?
That is correct. Normally when officers are involved in misconduct, they'll resign and they'll slip away quietly. And in some cases, they'll be able to maintain their certification and get a job with another agency. In this case, these individuals do not deserve to be in law enforcement.
Chief Williams even asked the district attorney to review cases that the 3 fired officers have been involved in to look for biases. The DA told CBS News 89 cases are under review, and some have already been thrown out. Do you think you need more people who are black to be on your force?
I would say yes, we also need more females to be on our force. But the color of a person's skin is not going to determine the color of their heart. You have white officers that are good officers. You have white officers that are bad officers. You have black officers that are good officers. And you also have black officers that are bad officers. So the color of their heart is more important to me than the color of their skin.
Boy, how much do we love Chief Williams? That's such a good point. May we all take that message from him. But I got to tell you, David, listening to those words was so hard to hear, even though they were bleeped out, that is a police officer on the force who is supposedly to protect and serve all of us. That's very tough to hear and painful.
Thankfully, it doesn't represent all officers, Gail, and wouldn't it be great to have a Chief Williams in every department around the country?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, when you listen to that, all you got to listen to is a lot of things that this officer said. This chief said, rather. He didn't get a police officer an opportunity to resign. That's what they allowed him to do. They allowed him to murder blacks and resign, or just just let them go and they go to another force and kill somebody else again. It's a lot of things that you want to look in at. The state's attorney's office is looking over 89 of those cases, and some got thrown out now. But here in Charles, Missouri, Mississippi County, it's going to take the United States Justice Department out of Washington, D.C. to come down here and look at the cases of some of the present sheriff and the chief of police and some of in the 33rd Circuit Court. Believe me, it's white supremacists running this area. I ain't done yet. You notice there's nobody else really speaking up on this here openly. You know why? It's self-explanatory. Peace be still.